Utahns, are you ready to get off the fence and let your voices be heard? Now is the time. We are honored here tonight to have a wonderful speaker, our next speaker. His name is Doug Mainwaring. Last year, Doug bravely wrote a column, a popular story. It was called "I'm Gay and I Oppose Same-Sex Marriage." There are many who would like to keep Doug silent, and for many people not to know about Doug's life. But he is a witness of the importance of having a mom and dad in children's lives. It should be our highest priority. Ladies and gentlemen, Doug Mainwaring.
So I'm gay, and I'm here to talk to you tonight about why I oppose the notion of same-sex marriage. And I arrived here this morning from behind the Iron Curtain. I live just outside of Washington, D.C. So sometimes it feels very much like I live behind enemy lines. And let me give you an example of that. Once, while I was at a party with the family of a guy who I had been dating for a very long time, I mentioned that I was a conservative. There was complete silence. Jaws dropped. Finally, someone spoke up and said, "But how can you be a conservative? You're gay." I looked at her for a long time and countered, "You're an adult. You have children. How can you be a liberal?" Frankly, I do not see this as either a conservative or a liberal issue. This is a common sense issue. It's a matter of our humanity. Let me tell you that for a very long time, I was pro same-sex marriage. After all, it only seemed fair, until I began to seriously consider why I supported it. And I came to the conclusion that marriage is an immutable term, and we should not screw around with it. As a gay man, I'm here tonight to tell you it is not homophobic to oppose same-sex marriage. In fact, it's very wise to maintain marriage just as it has always been. Let me tell you a little bit more about my story. For a long while after my wife and I divorced, I thought, I just want to find the perfect guy who loves my kids and is as devoted to them as much as I am. Then our lives would be perfect. But over time, I came to conclude that this was an impossible fantasy. Why? Because our household could never be perfect for my kids or for me without my ex-wife in it. And I concluded, and let me warn you, what I'm about to say is not politically correct, but two men creating or engineering a family with children is not exactly the same as a family headed by a man and a woman. And denying children parents of both genders at home is an objective evil. Kids need and yearn for both a mom and a dad, and they deserve to have a mom and a dad. For that reason, I have as much of a problem with no-fault divorce as I have with same-sex marriage. And it took some doing, but after a dozen years of being apart, my ex-wife and I pulled our family back together again. And that was over 3 years ago now. And we could not be happier. And I want to say tonight, I love my wife. I want to go on to say that there's no conservative or libertarian rationale for gay marriage, yet this has been prominent in the media lately. When it comes to redefining marriage, the heart of the issue is not concern for the welfare of gays and lesbians, and nor is it motivated by securing civil rights. The goal is to dilute the definition of marriage, and in so doing, weaken it. Statists see great value in slowly chipping away at the bedrock of American culture, faith and family life. And, you know, if you're paying attention to the news, you can see that that's exactly what's occurring through this issue of same-sex marriage. Faith and family are buffers that protect us from government behaving tyrannically in our lives. Think of it. With family ties weakened or obliterated, each individual's most intimate, trusting relationships and authority figures would come not from strong biological families or from their faith communities, but from the agencies of government assigned to his or her care, from bureaucrats. The gay community is not the driving force behind same-sex marriage. Who is? Liberal elites who seek to engineer our society, who feel that they could create an American utopia if only people weren't so tied to their families or to their religion, to their traditions, or to their beliefs. As a famous Washington, D.C. figure once lamented, if only so many of us didn't cling to our guns and our Bibles. And let me just give one word of warning. Libertarians and conservatives who buy into the idea that government should just get out of the business of marriage are buying into the lie of the century. I want to talk about choices for those who are same-sex attracted. LGBT activists and progressives offer no choice to those who have experienced same-sex attraction, especially young people. They offer one route: either jump out of the closet, join the celebration, make being gay or lesbian the dominant characteristic of your life and the sole foundation of your identity, or remain closeted, deny yourself, choose a false identity, then become depressed and risk suicide. You know, what a choice. But here's the thing. There's a vast middle between those two options. This tactic purposefully suppresses the truth that there are many other options available to those who are attracted to persons of the same sex. Many of us who are same-sex attracted intuitively know that in the very core of our beings that this can't possibly be all that the world has to offer us. It's a false meme. It's another cornerstone of political correctness. Since I've entered the national debate on same-sex marriage, many men and women have come forward to tell me that they too have chosen a path that is anathema to LGBT activists. The activists don't want this little truth to get out, but here goes. Many same-sex attracted men and women find great joy and fulfillment in heterosexual marriage. My Marco Rubio moment. Many also find close same-sex relationships, find great joy in same-sex relationships that aren't sexual, but are nonetheless extremely fulfilling. So here's what I'm getting at. While LGBT activists seek to limit and direct the options of the same-sex attracted, new voices are now appearing on the scene to open wide the door to diverse choices. Have any of you heard of the website Voices of Hope? It's an awesome website created by same-sex attracted members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. In short videos, often seated next to their opposite-sex spouses, same-sex attracted men and women testify to the choices that have given them profound joy. Choices that go against the sole script that the LGBT lobby promotes. Many are hungering to hear this kind of message. And if you want proof, here it is. This website was launched less than a year ago. Within 6 months, according to Google Analytics, its reach was estimated to be over 43 million and climbing. This shows that same-sex attracted men and women around the world are starving for the very message that many LGBT and progressive activists seek to suppress. So, a couple things in closing. Number one, I implore you to ignore and resist the media's relentless, manufactured urgency to institute same-sex marriage. Members of the judiciary and legislators are being encouraged to be on the right side of history. But what is that? It's a bumper sticker. It's not a reason to undo marriage. The state's sole interest in marriage is about kids, period. That's the reason marriage exists. And all of us should tremble in fear at the thought of undoing it. Same-sex marriage will not redefine marriage. It will undefine it. It will unravel it. And in so doing, it will undefine children. So, the battle is over this one little 8-letter word. Marriage. So I encourage all of you, don't shrug your shoulders about this. Don't retreat. Don't be afraid. Don't give in to political correctness and allow it to silence you. Instead, celebrate marriage, enshrine it, talk about it without fear where you work, in your neighborhoods, in your churches, because marriage has one definition and one definition only. So most of all, live it, don't take it for granted, and cherish and devote your life to your spouse. Remember, marriage means one mom and one dad together permanently till death do us part. Thank you.